are watching Northern Student TV. I'm Josie Terry. After the conclusion of Halloween, Sydney and Valerie give a special On Location, the Halloween edition.
Welcome to this spooky edition of On Location. I'm Sydney South.
And I'm Valerie Winter.
I've got 5 Halloween facts for you and
5 tips for after Halloween.
Fact number 1. The word witch comes from the Old English language, wise woman.
Fact number 2. Jack-o'-lanterns were originally made from turnips.
Fact number 3. Halloween is the second grossing holiday right behind Christmas.
Fact number 3. Legend has it, if bats fly around your house 3 times, death is on its way.
And last fact, Halloween has been around for over 6,000 years.
First tip for after Halloween is to throw away all the candy so you don't eat it.
Tip number 2, undecorate your house.
Tip number 3, put away the costumes you worked hard for.
Tip number 4, smash your pumpkins.
Last tip, make room for Thanksgiving.
This was On Location with Sydney South
And Valerie Winter.
Back to you.
The more you know for next Halloween. Moving on to sports with CJ as he covers the results of the women's soccer game against UMary.
For NSTV Sports, I'm CJ Baumgartner, and we're here on field right now at Chet Anderson Stadium where the BSU women's soccer game just ended. BSU unfortunately lost in a shootout after going through double overtime. It was a 0-0 game, and it really just felt off from the very beginning. BSU was never able to get their footing, able to get anything on the board, and it did eventually have to go into a shootout. BSU unfortunately suffers their first loss of the season, and now they are eliminated from the NSIC tournament after losing to UMary. BSU season isn't over, though, as BSU will be playing in the later weeks in the NCAA tournament, most likely. This could affect their seeding coming into the tournament, but as for now, BSU is going to take a break, and they will hopefully be back in the NCAA tournament. Anna Favi continued her scoreless streak as she has not allowed a goal since October 14th in regulation and overtime. So Beaver fans, it may sting to lose now, but they will be playing in the coming weeks in the NCAA tournament. For NSTV Sports, I'm CJ Baumgartner, and we'll kick it back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks for that, CJ. If you're looking to try something new but aren't sure what, Fishing with Eric sits down with Luke Gillund from the BSU fishing team to get a scoop on the mystery tackle box.
Hey guys, my name is Luke Gillund with the Bemidji State University fishing team. Today we're going to go over their mystery tackle box, kind of what it's all about, what they got in there, what they got to offer, just kind of show you guys how we would rig some of these baits, when we would throw them, where we'd throw them, and just kind of go over some of the basics with them, show you what you can get. It's a monthly package that you can get. You sign up, it renews every once a month. They got a bunch of awesome different baits. They got wherever you're at in the country. They got ice fishing, open water, bass, anything that you need. And it's kind of cool because you can fish baits that you never have before and that you might not think of buying, and you might like them. So we'll kind of just jump into it here, show you what's in the box and what we would do with some of these baits. So we're just going to kind of go through the contents of the box. So right as you first open it, you get a little package in here that kind of goes over what all the baits are in there, how much they are. Just kind of gives you an overview of it. If you opened up, there's some tips and stuff in there too, just for different things, ways you can rig some of these baits. So definitely take a look at that, especially if you've never used some of these lures before. Then every box comes with a little decal you can put on your truck and boat. So we'll get into some of these baits here. So the first one is a Vile Bug from Biospawn. It's this is a white one. It's just a beaver style bait. You can flip it. You can use it as a trailer too. Definitely good in the summertime. Anytime you're going for shallow bass, stuff like that. The next bait is a square bill. This one's by Lucky Craft. It's a LC RTO 1.5. Definitely good for bumping around shallow cover, timber, docks, stuff like that. Right now, if you're in some of them southern lakes and they're chasing bait, this is a great bait to throw right now. The next one is a little Lucky John. Just a little crankbait. Guys that are walleye fishing, it'd be great for trolling for walleye, stuff like that. Just a shallow runner. It goes 0 to about 6 foot. Again, just a great thing to cover water with. The next one's a chatterbait from Z-Man. I love throwing these, especially this time of year, if they're chasing bait, stuff like that. It's a great bait to cover water, up through vegetation, stuff like that. Works real good for that. This is just a white and chartreuse, definitely a great color imitator of bait fish, especially down south with all the bait pushing in the back of pockets right now. Great bait to throw. Again, just like the square bill, you can bump it around cover, stuff like that. It'll work great. So then for us, up in Minnesota, the North Country right now, water temp is starting to drop down pretty low, down to the 40s right now. This jerkbait, it's an IMA jerkbait. Great bait to throw right now. Starting to get a little bit lethargic. You can still cover a lot of water. It's a great bait to throw right now for them. And then finally, a little pack of worm hooks. Everybody needs some more worm hooks. These are 3/0. They're pretty sticky. I took some out of the package a little bit earlier just to kind of take a peek at them. They seem pretty good quality, so definitely always a great thing to have. And then if you open up the box a little bit more, they have a little contest that you can post a picture of your fish, put it up on the ruler, post it on your social media page, and then you can win a bunch of things. Definitely great to get your name out there, and just another way to stay more involved with Mystery Tackle Box. They love all the content, so keep pushing it to them. So guys, if you haven't yet, get you a Mystery Tackle Box. It's a great way to try a bunch of new baits, a lot of things that you might not have wanted to try before. You can try it here. It's a great monthly package, great gift idea too with the holidays coming around. And if you like some of the baits that are in here in particular, you can get them at shopcarls.com. They got just about everything there. Great website, easy to use, a lot of stuff on there. Go check it out.
Elections are coming up here soon, so let's tune into politics with Jacob as he interviews State Representative John Persell.
Could you please tell me what is at stake for the students of Bemidji State University with this election?
Well, it's certainly an important election. I've been through a few election cycles, both as a candidate for state representative, and I've served 4 terms, but previous to that as well, I can remember a lot of elections, and this is as important as any that I recall, just because I think that the core of our democratic values is at stake, and we have an opportunity to make a statement as citizens that we support our Constitution and we support everybody having opportunities. That's what our country's all about.
Okay, before the interview, we were talking about how you previously served in the legislature, and for a while you were the whip. Could you please explain, what that exactly entailed and what you accomplished as whip?
Well, sure, and I did serve 4 terms, and they're 2-year terms, so 8 years. And in my experience in the legislature, I served 2 years in majority, 2 in the minority, 2 in the majority, 2 in the minority. So it alternated like that. In 2013-14, we were in the majority, and that was my 3rd term in the legislature. And my House Democrat caucus saw fit to elect me as the majority whip, and as mean as that might sound to some folks, it really meant that I was talking to all my fellow legislators, both Democrat and Republican, and anyway, the outcome was we had a pretty good, gay marriage was legalized during that time frame, as you may recall, and but perhaps more importantly, or as important, for me anyway, of the legislation that was passed into law, signed into law, 93% of it was bipartisan.
New to our list of segments this week is BSU Weekly with Tiffany. Let's go check it out.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of What's Happening at BSU. I'm your host, Tiffany Harris, and I'm here to inform you of weekly events at BSU and to connect you with on-campus clubs and organizations to help you get more involved. I hope everyone's feeling well rested since yesterday we set the clocks forward and gained an extra hour of sleep. I know that I like when we gain an extra hour of sleep, and it's not because I slept through my alarm. But anyway, let's get to campus events. Kicking us off this week on Tuesday the 6th, Newman Catholic Ministries is hosting their weekly Mass and a Meal at St. Philip's Catholic Church on 702 Beltrami Avenue Northwest at 6:30. Stop by for Mass and a delicious homemade meal. All are welcome to attend. Then on Tuesday the 6th at 8 p.m. in Hagsauer 100, learn more about the opioid crisis and how you can help those around you who may be struggling with addiction. There are also a few away games on Tuesday the 6th. The volleyball team will be playing at the NSIC volleyball quarterfinals, the time still to be determined. Then the men's basketball team will be playing at Northern Iowa University at 7 o'clock. And lastly, remember that Tuesday, November 6th is voting day for midterm elections. You have the power to change the future, so use that power and go out and vote on Tuesday. Do you have feedback about the dining services at BSU? Stop by the Viking Room at Lakeside on Wednesday the 7th between 12 and 1 to share your feedback and experiences with dining on campus and how they can make improvements to make your dining experience a better one. On Wednesday the 7th at 8 p.m. in the Borat's Ballroom, prepare for a night of laughter and fun with semifinalists from the show Last Comic Standing, Kevin Bozeman. If you're looking for a way to escape your dorm for the evening, this is the perfect opportunity. It should be really fun and entertaining, so be sure you check him out. On Thursday the 8th in the Borat's Ballroom, win free groceries at a Harry Potter-themed bingo night. Then on Friday, the Student Center for Health and Counseling is hosting their weekly Feel Better Fast Stress Management Workshop. With midterm season coming to a close, I'm sure we've all been feeling stressed out in some way. So head over to the Student Center for Health and Counseling, located on the first floor of Cedar Hall at 1 o'clock to learn more skills to help with stress and coping. This is free to all BSU and NTC students. No appointment is necessary. Now for weekend sports. First, we'll start off with all of the away games. On Friday the 9th, the women's soccer team will be playing at the regional semifinals. The women's volleyball team will be playing at the NSIC semifinals. Then on Saturday the 10th, watch the NSIC volleyball championships. All of the times and locations for the events are still to be determined, but if you're interested, keep a lookout on the BSU sports website so you're sure not to miss them. And lastly, for our away games, the men's basketball team will be traveling to South Dakota State University for a game at 4 o'clock. Now, for those of you who plan on staying in Bemidji this weekend, don't worry, there are plenty of games happening right here at home. On Friday the 9th, the women's hockey team will be kicking us off with our home games this weekend as they face off against Ohio State University at the Sanford Center at 3 p.m. Then at 6 p.m., the women's basketball team will be playing against Northland College at Gillette Wellness Center. And at 7, the men's hockey team will be facing off against Merrimack at the Sanford Center. Then on Saturday the 10th, head over to the Chet Anderson Stadium at 1 o'clock to watch our men's football team in their last game of the season against Minot State University. Be sure to come out and cheer them on. Then the women's hockey team has another game against Ohio State University at the Sanford Center at 3 o'clock. And the men's hockey team has another game against Merrimack University at the Sanford Center at 7. And just a quick reminder that on Monday the 12th, there are no classes in observance of Veterans Day, so enjoy the long weekend. And now for our next segment, I'm happy to introduce this week's guest on what's happening at BSU. With me today is Amanda Bortz, a junior here at BSU studying aquatic biology with an emphasis in aquatic systems and a minors in GIS and wetlands ecology, and also a member of the Bemidji State University dance team. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Let's start off by having you tell us a little bit about the dance team and their participation here at BSU.
So we do sideline dances for the football games and for the hockey games too. And then we do practices also, and then we also do the homecoming events, like the parade and stuff that we did this year.
Very nice. When and where do you normally have your practices?
We have practices 3 times a week, and we have it at the Wellness Center on campus.
Nice. And how do you join? When and where are tryouts usually?
So tryouts, we're hoping to have some at the end of November here for next spring semester.
Very nice. And who can join? Is it just people interested in dance, or is it kind of open to anyone?
It's open to anyone. If you have dance experience, if you don't have dance experience, all are welcome.
Very nice. And what made you decide to join the dance team?
I used to dance when I was little, and I got into a different sport. So in high school, I wanted to join again, and in college, I just had the chance to join dance team.
Very nice. Well, thank you so much for sharing more about the dance team with us today. If you're interested in learning more, you can check them out on Facebook and also on BeaverLink. Well, that concludes this week's episode of What's Happening at BSU. I'm Tiffany, and I'll see you next week.
That's all we had for you today, folks. So we'll see you next Friday. I'm Josie Terry, and you've been watching Northern Student TV.